Picture this: no books, no text, no street signs, no menus, no birthday cards, no awkward apology notes slipped under doors. A world where every story, every law, every recipe, every secret, and every embarrassing love poem exists only in someone's head. Now ask the big question: what if writing never existed? At first, life might sound simple. No spelling tests, no unread emails, no terms and conditions that stretch longer than a dragon's tail. But then the trouble begins. Need to remember how much grain a farmer owes the village? Better hope someone has a very good memory. Need to pass down a recipe for medicine? Better hope nobody sneezes halfway through the instructions. Need to warn future generations about a volcano? Better hope the story survives thousands of campfires without it turning into "the mountain got angry because someone stole its crown." Before writing, humans depended on speech, songs, symbols, and memory. That means history would be less like a library and more like a jam game of telephone. One person says, "the king crossed the river." 100 years later, the story becomes, "the king fought a river monster using a spoon." Fun? Absolutely. Reliable? Not even close. Without writing, schools would be completely different. No notebooks, no textbooks, no whiteboards filled with equations that look like alien curses. Teachers would speak everything aloud. Students would memorize everything. And math class would feel like a memory tournament. At that point, dropping out to become a goat whisperer might sound reasonable. Trade would also become chaos. Imagine buying 3 chickens, 2 bags of rice, and 1 suspiciously aggressive goat. No receipts, no contracts, no written prices, just promises. Payment comes next moon. Which moon? The shiny one. Disputes would explode everywhere. Civilization loves trust, but it really loves paperwork. And laws? Without writing, laws would live inside people's memories. That sounds fine until a ruler decides a law has always said that everyone must give the ruler half their potatoes. No written record means no way to point at a page and say, "actually, that is extremely potato greedy and completely made up." Writing gives memory a backbone. Without it, power becomes slippery, truth becomes easier to bend, and potatoes become politically vulnerable. Now think about science. No written notes, no diagrams, no formulas, no research papers. Every discovery would need to be memorized and spoken aloud. The wheel might still happen. Fire might still happen. But advanced medicine, engineering, astronomy, and computers, and space travel, those become much harder. A rocket ship requires millions of tiny details. No one wants the launch engineer saying, "the fuel ratio is probably something like spicy." Writing lets humans stack knowledge. One generation discovers something, the next generation starts from there, and the next generation climbs higher. Without writing, humanity keeps dropping pieces of the ladder. But the world would not be empty. Stories would still exist. Songs would become sacred. Elders would become living libraries. Poets, singers, and storytellers would hold enormous power. A great memory would be as valuable as gold. A forgotten story could feel like a burnt museum. Culture would move through voices, dances, carvings, rituals, and rhythm. Human creativity would survive. It always does. But it would travel differently. More fragile, more local, and more alive in the moment. Now jump to today. No texting, no internet search bars, no usernames, no subtitles, no comment section. Actually, that last one might bring forth peace. But also no movies with scripts, no video games with dialogue trees, no maps with labels, no medical instructions, no warning signs saying, "do not touch extremely electric." Every app would be voice only. Every password would be a secret noise. Every group chat would become a group shout. And ordering pizza would involve describing toppings like an ancient bard. Round bread of joy, crowned with cheese, red sauce, mushrooms, and the tiny spicy circles. Without writing, memory becomes the internet. But memory crashes. Memory changes. Memory gets hungry and forgets where the keys went. Writing changed everything because it allowed thoughts to escape time. A person could have an idea, mark it down, and speak to someone centuries later. A recipe could outlive the cook. A law could outlive the king. A poem could outlive the heartbreak. A warning could outlive the disaster. Writing is not just symbols on the surface. It is humanity's backup drive. It is a time machine made of marks. It is a memory with legs. So what if writing never existed? Humanity would still laugh, still sing, still build, still dream. But civilization would be slower, shakier, and much easier to forget. The modern world would shrink. History would blur. Science would stumble. And every grocery list would become a dangerous test of destiny. Because without writing, the past whispers. With writing, the past speaks. And sometimes it even leaves a note in the fridge saying, "Do not forget the milk." So next time a sentence appears on the screen, a page, a sign, or a suspiciously long homework assignment, remember this. Those little marks are one of the biggest reasons the world became the world.